guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're gonna be reacting to.
Every time Camerawork ruined a BTS performance.
We
Oh,
all know that
I've seen
BTS
that a
practices
lot.
a lot for their performances. They have coordinated
Yeah,
choreographies that
that's
go
so
beyond dance
unfortunate.
steps. They choreograph the movements of their microphones, for example, as well as other illusions that we don't always notice. However, one thing that BTS cannot always control about their performances is the camera work. So I've compiled 13 moments of bad camera work in
Wow,
BTS performances that I can
that's some
think of.
work.
And I will place these moments
Mhm.
in this tier list. The first tier is called "This mess is kind of iconic" because there have been times when a performance has not been filmed properly, but it's somehow kind of fun and
I get
iconic
it.
in its own weird way. You will see what I mean in a second. The
Yeah,
second
I
tier
get
is
it.
called a small mistake. Sometimes it's really not that big of a deal. Camera work is done by camera people, and mistakes and accidents can happen. The third tier is called a mess. This is simply bad camera work that can truly ruin how a performance looks, but it's still not as bad as the fourth tier, which is titled jail. These are the performances that have unforgivable camera work. They
You must
ruin
go
the
to
performance
jail.
at such a
Do
level
not
that
pass
BTS
go.
calls the
Do
camera
not
people out
collect
publicly.
$200.
Hopefully, I'm not missing any performance with bad camera work, so let's start with the oldest one I can think of, Boy in Love at Inkigayo in 2014. Out of all the K-pop music shows, Inkigayo has the craziest camera work. They love movement and changing rapidly from the
Right, I was about to say the only I don't know if it was ruined or like part of it, but the camera changes ridiculous, like fast, fast, fast.
different angles. Just look at all the angles they showed in 10 random seconds. They start with the camera a little high, then there's a close-up, then there's a shot of their
Aw,
feet, then
Yeah,
that's
those
adorable.
that was random. Those I hate when they do those random like a feet shot. Like what?
they change to a camera that is very low and shaky, then it fades to a wide shot, then after half a second they change sets, and after another second they go back to
They changed sets in another performance? I never seen that. What?
the main set. Then the camera travels for 1 second, and then Taeyeon's face is huge. All of this in just 10
Huh?
seconds. I cannot even see their faces. I dare you to go to this performance and try to take a good
It's interesting
screenshot
she
in which
calls
the
him
members are
Taeyeon
not looking
in
crazy.
MV.
I also cannot see the choreography properly, but my favorite part of this performance is the camera people's obsession with filming the wall. They even made a random transition introducing the wall, and then
Yeah,
saying
this is
goodbye to the wall.
fucked up.
Why
I
is
feel
it
like
this?
that's like how they used to film back in the
I
day,
don't.
in the
Yeah,
late
this is
1900s.
this is bad. This is bad. Honestly,
Jail.
yeah, I'm putting
This
this
is
to jail. This
jail.
is jail. This is horrible.
I have no idea, but they do love this wall with the logo as well. This performance is the definition of a mess. Next, we have one of the most recent BTS
It's
performances.
more atrocious than.
We'll see, but to me,
Yeah,
that
was
was
jail.
prison time
That
right
was jail.
there. Yeah.
They needed to
Those
serve.
have yet to come in Busan. The concert yet to come in Busan was streamed online completely live. So logically, the camera work was not
Ooh.
going to beat the best of the best. And if there were
Yeah.
mistakes, we were going to notice those
Understandable.
mistakes. That's why
Yeah,
when a
that's not a big
cameraman
deal.
fell during Dope, we all saw it in different angles.
Oh.
You cannot see this small
And the
accident in
equipment
the
is
movie
quite
of the
heavy
concert.
too.
The camera work for this
Yeah, this is accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
performance and actually for this entire
jail.
concert was changed almost completely.
But honestly, if this video encompasses every time camera ruined the BTS, that's very little times. They had so many performances. This only you see.
Yeah.
That's not many times.
For the movie because they had the option of editing the best shots they could find, but the ones who watched the concert live know what happened. Still, this is just a small
It's a
mistake.
small
The camera
mistake.
people
I
did
agree.
the best
I
they
agree.
could to film an entire concert live, and in my opinion, it wasn't that bad. Now let's go back to 2017 when BTS performed at the Ellen Show. I tried finding conversations about BTS and bad camera work online to make this video, and one show that came up a couple of times was the Ellen Show, but honestly I don't see it. One of the biggest complaints by fans when BTS started performing in American TV was the bad camera work, which included the excessiveness of shots of the audience. And I am
No, that's American.
That's American
That's
style.
American style. Yeah, we always.
It's like, you know how you guys like to film the walls and the shoes?
Yeah, we like to film the crowd and crowd response. And to be honest, I like seeing the crowd. I like seeing crowd responses
Honestly,
too.
when we first started doing reactions, I was confused why they were never filming the audience.
Yes,
That's just not
we
their norm.
We have said that in a couple of times. Yeah, why we never
Mhm.
see the Korean audiences in Korean
Yeah, because
performances. Yeah.
they had me believing there was no audience. It's a backtrack.
Agree with that. But not when it comes to these performances at the Ellen Show. I believe that fans from 2017 were so used to watching BTS's performances being recorded by Korean shows that prioritize choreography that a couple of shots of the audience in American shows were still a big shock. But I actually do like when shows show the audience singing and shouting.
Yeah.
My problem is the excessiveness and the irrelevant shots of people. If you're going to show
I
the
get it.
audience, show people singing or dancing or doing something, not the
It's
people
not
just
jail.
standing there in shock.
It's
And
not
of
a
course,
small mistake. It's not a mess. I don't think this should even be included.
Yeah, I don't think it should be included. It doesn't
Or-
qualify. This is not ruined. This is
Yeah.
just how it's supposed to be.
Or put it with where she put the one with the wall. I think it was a mess. The
Why
same-
is this? You compare wall with this?
No, because it's
No.
each country's style.
So in Korea, you think that the wall was a
Yes,
style?
at
No.
that time, it was.
It
the
was a
style.
mistake. It was a mistake.
not a
Ain't no,
mistake.
ain't no way they were trying to film a wall.
No,
For what?
but the shaking, the filming the shoes.
The shaking was
the
because they were
wall
jumping up
capturing
and
the-
down, and
the
camera was on the
logos.
floor, so it was jumping from the.
No, it's a mess. Put it with the mess.
No, this doesn't qualify.
show the audience moderately
You're gonna see
without
what she puts
interrupting
in.
important moments of the performance. Most American shows don't do this properly, but as much as I dislike the Ellen Show, their camera work for BTS's performances in 2017 and 2018 were fine. There may have been 2 or 3 unnecessary audience shots during mic drop, but these are just small mistakes. Talking about mic drop, there are a lot of performances for this song in this list for some reason. So let's talk about the 2017 performances of mic drop and DNA at Inkigayo. Whatever was happening at Inkigayo in 2014 was
I
happening
just
at
feel like
Inkigayo
when you
in
go to
2017.
Inkigayo and you know the camera gonna be a lot of movement, that means you don't have to do that much choreo. The choreo is the camera work.
Well, I want to see if all of these is gonna be Inkigayo, because if all of these is
think so.
Inkigayo, I guess we gotta stop
Is it-
reacting to Inkigayo because it's
Really?
trash.
Everything changes so fast,
No, what
and
you
the
see is that
camera
they
is
don't do too
extremely
much
shaky.
choreo.
Everything keeps bouncing, and there's a lot of zoom in
Yeah,
and zoom out.
it feels even more like they're bouncing because they're also doing choreo. You know, I think that's for like people who don't want to do too much choreo. You have the camera shake, so you look like you're doing movement.
But
you're
K-pop
not.
is like very choreo heavy period.
Then why
like,
they do that?
It's shaky hands. I don't know. They're drunk.
There's really no need for the camera to move this much. It's almost unwatchable.
You know, honestly, I think it was filmed by a 5-year-old. I feel like I remember doing that when I was little. Zoom in, zoom out, zoom in, zoom out. I filmed this at 5.
Also, if the members move, the camera doesn't have to move with them, because then we cannot see the dance steps at all. All we see is a shaky camera and everything is a blur.
Whoa. I know this is exaggerated. That's not real.
The camera work for this performance genuinely pisses me off, and I hate
Yeah,
it.
that's
This mess is
jail.
not
That's
fun or
jail.
iconic. It's
Put it in
simply a
jail.
mess.
Oh,
And
is
I
that
would
jail?
say
What
it's
is
even
jail?
ridiculous than what they were
Girl.
doing in 2014.
Girl,
Now let's talk about the
that's
type of
jail to
camera work mess
me.
that I can actually enjoy. The 2019 performance of Mic Drop at Saturday Night Live.
Hope.
Yeah, at that la pieces de June.
The main problem with the camera work for Mic Drop at SNL is that SNL has basically no knowledge about filming choreography properly. First, usually the members who are not in certain parts of the choreography go out of frame and wait until it's
I see her point. Yeah, the feet are cut off. The member. Like, I get what she's saying. This would be to me.
It's not jail. Don't do it.
It's a small mistake. I would put
Yeah.
it. Yeah, they just didn't
They
know
don't
how
wanna
to
film
film
it.
it.
their turn to go back on stage. But here, they cannot go out of frame, and the cameras don't do a close-up of the members actually performing, so we can see the other members waiting for their turn. The second problem is that it seems as if the camera people thought of this performance as main singer and his backup dancers, so they sometimes do a close-up of the member singing, and we cannot see the choreography around him. And sometimes we can see the choreography, but it's filmed from the wrong angle. The third problem is that the camera people don't care to remember that choreographies have figures that are not always singer at center, so there are times when they completely miss a member singing.
Yeah.
For some reason,
shout out
the-
to the camera people because I feel like they also have to learn the choreography of those they are filming too as well, which is why rehearsal is very important. And I don't know if you're not experienced at this to pick it up all in one rehearsal, it's rough,
Well, to
real
be
rough.
fair though, there's a lot of cameras. So what they do in K-pop, they just cut the camera that was filming. Because don't forget, in K-pop, there's fan cam for every member. So they just combine the fan cams to get a video.
Yeah, but they don't do that here in the States.
Right. So I'm saying here, that's why we get in the States, we get these videos
Uh,
because they don't. There's no fan
I
cam. So
wonder what the team tells the other team.
I don't know.
These problems don't really happen with Boy With Love. I feel like this is because Boy With Love doesn't have as many fast changes and unique formations as Mic Drop. But in any case, the camera work for Mic Drop is a mess. But it's not a disorienting kind of mess. The camera work at Inkigayo
This
left
was
me with a
what-
headache.
Yeah,
But as
yeah,
someone who
yeah.
watched the SNL performance back in 2019 as a non-fan, this performance left me wanting to watch more of them. Yes, the cool formations and figures are mostly ruined, but a lot of the general public in the comment section saw how powerful and energetic the BTS members are. Also, it gave me a lot of vibes of real on-the-street street dancing, which is not filmed beautifully in the studio with the perfect camera angles. This mess of a camera work proves that BTS's performances don't just look good, they are good, because BTS are good. In my opinion, this mess is kind of iconic. Let's do one more
Okay.
performance of Mic Drop
Okay,
because why
I
not?
wasn't expecting
Mic Drop
that.
at the 2017 Mama. Overall, this
Because to me, I would say iconic is a performance that has become a meme.
Yeah.
That's iconic.
performance of Mic Drop has very good camera work, but they made one tragic mistake. Every single army waits for the iconic moment when Suga lets the mic drop, but the award show showed the audience instead. Fortunately, we can see the actual mic drop in the performance recorded by BTS staff that is on their YouTube channel. So yes, this is one single small mistake, but it is an important one. So it goes to the beginning of the tier. Next we have another
It's a small mistake, but it is a crucial mistake.
Yeah, it's the mic
Because
drop.
that mic drop, like the song is mic
That's
drop.
the
You
point.
yeah, you have to see the mic drop.
performance from 2017, DNA at the American Music Awards. This performance has terrible camera work and sound. There are way too many audience shots. There are way too many wide shots where we can see nothing. The camera is hardly ever focused on the
They
members
do
singing.
this in Brazil.
And overall, this is just a terribly recorded performance. There is
Yeah, I think this
nothing
might
to
be jail.
appreciate. We can see the audience 50% of the time, and the other
might be
50%, the members are too small, the camera angle is terrible, or the members singing is out of frame. What makes it even worse is that this is BTS's American TV debut, so it was an important moment. In the behind the scenes, the BTS members are panicking and visibly stressed out by the bad organization of the camera people.
그냥 카메라 여기서 잡고 있어도 여기를 보고 하는 게 맞아.
난 얼굴이 보이면 안 되는 것 같아서 난 계속
그런 거 신경 쓰지 말고 우리는
우연이 아니니까
For this, the camera work for this performance should go to jail. Next, we have the camera work for a Suga fan cam for BTS's performance of Dionysus at NBC's show Music Core. Nowadays, fancams in K-pop TV shows are mostly done in a computer, but a couple of years ago, a camera person was designated a specific member they had to follow. And I prefer these fancams because we can get moments like this, when Suga's cameraman lost Suga and started looking for him in panic.
Where'd he go?
Overall, this type of fancam is a little shaky and imperfect because there's an
Where did
actual
he
person
go?
following the member. But I believe that's what makes it fun. It really feels like a fan recording their favorite BTS member, which is the definition of
That is so
True,
interesting.
That is true. The definition of fan cam, like so,
Yeah.
the fact it's a little shaky, it's a fan cam. Like it
Yeah.
should be. Well, it doesn't have to be shaky, but it's not a big deal if it's shaky at all.
fancam. Computers do not make iconic mistakes like this. So for that reason, this mess is kind
Yeah, I
of iconic.
figured she
While
would
we are
put this in
talking about
iconic,
camera
yeah.
work being more and more computerized, let's talk about BTS's online concert, Sowusu Day 1. In 2021, BTS held their first online fan meeting. This was a 2-day streaming concert, and for the first day, the camera work was
Oh, and they can see the fans like in front. That's cool.
not the best. Surprisingly, the best recorded performances were the ones with choreographies, so maybe they prepared a lot for those. But when we talk about the performances of just them singing, it seemed like there was no preparation. First of all, the stage was beautiful, but there were too many aerial shots of the stage.
Yeah, and the stage doesn't look good because like there's no crowd. It looks very empty, so I don't think aerial shots are needed at all. Maybe to show like the computer screens a little bit to see like, oh, this crowd, look at it, but it's because it's so empty. Like there's no backup dancers, there's no crowd. It just doesn't look good.
We also saw a lot of their backs for some reason.
Yeah, I'd put it as a mess.
And
I
of
think.
course, they kept filming the wrong member. I believe that one reason why
I
the
wonder if
cameras
they
kept
know.
losing
How
them.
did they know?
Who?
Like, for example, at their American debut, how did they know that the camera work already was bad when they're performing it and haven't watched it over?
They probably did rehearsals and they can watch over rehearsal.
Oh, so they knew. Oof.
Members was because a lot of the concert was filmed with robots, and actually one of the robots hit J-Hope's leg.
Oh. Ooh, that okay. For that one is jail. No, for that leg hit, I changed my mind. It's jail now.
For the second day of the concert, the camera work was a lot better, so it's good that they fixed it. But day one was a little bit of a mess. Not Inkigayo
mess.
level of mess,
I had it at a mess, but for the camera, for the leg hit, it would be jail for me.
You would have kicked the robot.
Oh, I would have kicked. Yeah, the robot would have been
gone.
flying off.
but it was a mess. Next, we have an iconic performance, Fake Love at the 2018
Oh,
Billboard
she
Music
already said iconic performance, which is going to be iconic.
Awards. The BBMAs have gotten a lot better at filming BTS's performances over the years, but camera work for their first performance of Fake Love in 2018 was terrible. Technically, the choreography was filmed properly. The camera people knew the moment each BTS member was about to sing, but what could have been okay camera work was ruined by the number of audience shots. In this one short performance BTS had, there were a total of 24 audience shots.
I feel like they do this so they don't have to worry too much about who the guy.
Not really. I
I feel
just
like
think
that would be a reason.
we like audience shots here in the States.
Yeah,
But
but
they
do
do
you
it for
think
everybody.
A minute and 10 seconds of it?
Why not?
I don't know. I think this number would sound outrageous if others are not filmed 1 minute and 10 seconds.
But maybe they are.
I
It's
don't know.
hard to say.
That's
I
what
just-
I'm wondering.
We definitely get a lot of audience shots. Like when we
A
do like,
minute and 10 seconds of it though?
I mean, it's hard
10
to.
seconds
That's
already
that's a
high.
third of a performance on average.
10 seconds is a lot.
10 seconds of audience shots is a lot.
Yeah.
No,
is.
it's not.
It's like when you do
Usually we get
reactions,
like 3-4 seconds at a time, and there's like multiple of them.
but it's like 10 seconds is a lot. If it's 10 seconds of just the audience, we looking at the audience, looking at us, looking at them.
What do you mean?
looking at us.
They don't film for audience for 10
So how
seconds.
many times they split it up?
A lot. There's
That's
a lot of
then
splits.
It's too much.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Earlier
Because
in
I
this
feel like
video,
you
I
need to
mentioned
just
that
see
I
the
don't know
audience to see who's in the audience, like just maybe 3 times. Center, left, right, we done. Maybe aerial shot, we're done.
I would say for a 3-minute performance, about 30 seconds of audience shots. A minute 10 is a little, maybe more
That's
than.
long.
It's
How long are the songs?
3 minutes. It's an average 3 minutes. So that's what I'm saying. 30 seconds, about, a sixth of a song. I'm okay with that, I think.
Mm.
But
You
a
know,
minute 10 is a little,
Also,
it's
you
a
have-
lot, but it's, yeah.
You also have to realize, there's many members in the group. There's so many parts that they do have. So they want the spotlight to be on them for the time
Oh.
they do have.
Okay, but the viewers want the audience shots.
They do.
Yeah. Why else they show an audience? Because clearly the Americans like it.
I'm only interested to see if it's celebrities in the audience.
Right,
I don't know
and-
if I want to see. Sometimes we get good moments with regular people. Sometimes. But I love seeing when there's celebs. Who's there? Who's in attendance?
I mean, it would be interesting to see, like, if there's a video, how much they get,
Yeah.
like, regular time versus, this. It's hard to say 100, 110, not 110, but what, 70 seconds of audience time does sound a lot. It doesn't sound like a horrible amount, but sounds a little excessive. But if average is like a minute and they got a minute and 10, then I would say, okay, that's just a standard deviation, whatever.
Mind some audience shots. I actually prefer having some instead of none at all, like in Korean TV shows. However, this is not only too much, but it's also not timed correctly. Here's an example of an audience shot with good timing. BTS is singing, then it cuts to a fan singing for 1 second, and then it cuts back to BTS. This doesn't happen a lot though. Here's an example of an audience shot with bad timing, which happens a lot in this performance. They filmed the fan as she was about to sing, and when she actually started singing, they changed shots. Nothing makes sense. Also,
that's true, but how did they know that the fan wasn't gonna sing? Or like, I don't know.
I think they kind of cute. You gonna be on camera.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because I don't know. Because I remember even seeing sometimes they tap.
I don't know.
There were times when they filmed fans in the darkness, so we couldn't even see their reactions. I also believe that as camera people, if you're going to show the audience, you should be looking for people having fun. Because I could see a lot of awkward moments of people being uncomfortable being on camera or having almost no reaction. And even if they are fans having fun, if your big camera focuses on them for way too long, it's going to feel uncomfortable regardless. All of these problems could have been solved by showing the audience less. Way less. Actually, if you don't know how to film audiences, don't film them at all. The camera work for this performance is a mess. Probably a bigger mess than some Inkigayo performances. Next, we have another iconic BTS performance, Idol at the 2018
So she didn't put it in iconic.
No.
Melon Music
That
Awards.
was a true.
Overall, this iconic performance was filmed properly, but there was a funny and unfortunate mistake that made the performance not be 100% perfect. Here's some context. BTS prepared specific transitions with props. After J-Hope finished his solo part, he took out a prop and threw it to Jimin. After Jimin finished his part, he took out another prop and threw it to Jungkook. But when Jungkook threw his prop, the camera switchers messed up the transition. If you didn't watch this performance live when it was happening in 2018, you probably didn't notice this mistake because the Melon Music Awards have re-uploaded an edited version of this performance a couple of times. So yes, this is a very small mistake. It's the magnitude of the performance what makes me remember it. But I still think it's not as bad as a year-end award show performance of Mic Drop with no actual mic drop. Next, we have the 2018 performances of Boy With Love and Fire at Good Morning America.
I'm noticing a lot of American performances. It just kind of shows that, they're not really familiar with filming boy groups like that. Not boy, like, I guess K-pop groups, period.
What I find funny about the camera work of these performances is the weird angles. I believe this is because the camera people could only be on stage on the sides instead of the front, so we couldn't see a lot of the choreography.
Every time they perform, it's an A-game performance they're trying to do. It's not like, oh, we're in a different platform, this is how they do it, let's bring it down to how they do it. We're gonna keep the standard high. I feel like that's the mantra. It's that pretty good mantra.
I think I hear what you're saying. I think there's some truth to that as well. But I think generally in K-pop and they perform, there's so many cameras. And in this one, for example, it's like there's what, 1 camera, 2 cameras, maybe. It's just like
yeah, but don't you think they have power to say put more cameras?
BTS power in America? I don't think so.
I mean, don't they have a list to tell what their team needs? Like, it's their brand, it's their image.
I think they're just happy to be here. I don't think they're gonna start getting demands.
I don't think it's too much to say, okay, what do you need to perform? Because if you need props, if you need this, you need that, it's your call, your team's call, right?
I don't know.
And if you need extra, they put the funding towards it. I just think they don't know how to film that type of performance, period.
Singing because they are usually in the middle.
Nah, this is jail. This is horrible.
I think this is an attempt to try to
Another
film
thing
it
they
like
did
it's
a lot
in
was
Korea.
filming the performances from the back
this
of
is
the
horrible
stage.
from the back. What the fuck is this? Nah, this is horrible.
Why?
What do you mean why? Everything is
It
from the
was either
back.
that or wide
You can
shots.
see them.
Overall, I enjoyed this performance more than I expected
No.
to. Just like
I
with my
find
job
from
at
the back.
SNL, we could
No.
see that BTS's performances
One shot from the back, huge, but not the whole performance. No, this is jail.
look good from different angles. Even if we miss some formations, BTS looks good because they are good performers. It's not just the
Yeah.
choreography what makes them good. For example,
Yeah.
here, other members are singing while the camera focuses on the wrong member, but he's still working with the audience. In my opinion, these
that's what I
little
like.
moments
They
make this type of messy
maintain professionalism.
She put it iconic. I
camera
don't
work
know, man. To me, it's
iconic.
jail.
Finally, the performance most of us have been waiting
I
for.
think
Intro
iconic
performance
and jail
trailer
both
and
work.
Danger at the 2014 Gayo Daejeon.
Iconically bad equals jail.
Yes. Who did that?
It's like, you know
But
how
they
they
won't do that
say,
again.
2013
you know
and
how they say love and
2014,
hate is
the
like the same
opportunities for
emotion?
BTS to perform at stages like this were limited. So BTS prepared
Is
one
it?
of their best choreographies,
That's
only
how
for their
something-
performance to be
that.
completely ruined.
Because they're like really close, like both very intense feelings, supposedly. Whatever.
So
by
if
MBC
I hate someone, I love them. What kind of toxic shit
Yes.
is that?
T's
No,
awful
sir.
camera work.
No,
There
that's
was barely
false.
any salvageable moments.
Love
The
and hate is
cameras
very
were almost
different. They
all the
get
time
vibes,
so far away that we couldn't see
color,
anything on stage.
fashion.
There was also a lot of the classical shaking of camera. Like I've said, this was a big opportunity for BTS, and they organized what's, in my opinion, one of their best performances to this day. So BTS was
Okay,
so
cool.
angry that they
Work.
recorded their own version of this performance for their YouTube channel. And to make sure everyone knows they're doing this because of the bad camera work
Okay, because BTS was so angry of that sentence, it's jail.
at MBC, they recorded the performance 3 times. The first one had very good camera work, and it was titled Very Good Camera. The second one only had one point of view, a camera that showed a wide shot of the performance because MBC loves their wide shots. So this version was titled Good Camera, because if you don't go crazy with the transitions, your wide shots can still look good. The third version was titled Do You Want More? And it shows that if you just put a camera in the middle of the stage, BTS performances still look good. You don't need to have excellent camera work, just an okay one. But BTS couldn't even get
Ooh,
that.
they
The
shaded
camera
it.
work
Yeah, they
was
shaded them big time.
when you compare
Yeah.
how the performance is
iconic.
supposed to
Yeah,
look
this-
and how
I'm
it
sorry,
ended
this
up
is
being
iconic.
at the
That's
event,
an
and when you
this is
take into
iconic. Yeah, this
consideration
is
the amount of effort they put for
But
this
not
important
the camera work is iconic, but the BTS's response is iconic.
performance, I can
But then I guess that makes the camera work iconic as the response.
It
was
triggered
called, yeah.
this.
confidently say that
Ooh,
this
never
camera
got-
work should go to the
Nah,
jail
this
tier.
is
So
this
this is
iconic.
the
It's
final
iconic.
list.
Yeah,
What do you think is the
iconic.
worst camera work in a
This is iconic. Yeah, it's iconic.
Guys, of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. As always, share as much kindness as possible.